welcome back to the Fire Burns Within channel. Today's video is a 25th anniversary video. Iced Earth's Dark Saga. The Dark Saga is 25 years old on the 20th of May. It was released back in 1996. It's their fourth studio album. It was, I think it was based on the Spawn comic Saga. I don't know a lot about comics. I've vaguely heard of Spawn, but I didn't know a lot about it then, and I don't know a lot about it now. I think I first heard this around maybe early 2000 or 2001, just on the millennium, something like that, around that time, not immediately at the time. The first Iced Earth album I heard was the Days of Purgatory double disc album where they re-recorded all the old stuff. I love that re-record with Matt Barlow doing the songs, and then I started getting into Iced Earth a lot. I absolutely loved Iced Earth. So this album was basically a different take for Iced Earth. It wasn't so like thrashy, if you like. It was sort of more dark, more introspective. It wasn't so Iron Maiden style, if you like, Maiden fixated. It was sort of quite dark, quite heavy, more like Metallica, less like Iron Maiden, less extravagant, more to the point, shorter songs, not a whole bunch of crazy riffs. The sound was sort of okay for the time. I mean, it was sort of quite raw and heavy, but it wasn't like fantastically clear or punchy by today's standards. But anyway, I'm going to do a song by song ranking, and going to give a ranking out of 10 for each song, and then give a total rank based on those rates. So the first song is Dark Saga. It's an okay song. It's a bit of a moody opener. It's got a dark feel to it. Some nice clean guitars. I love those clean picked guitars. I think they're called arpeggios. I'm not a musician, but I don't know. I've heard them when you play the strings cleanly. I've heard it called as an arpeggio. It's a moody track. It's quite heavy. It's sort of downbeat, a bit dark, as the Dark Saga as the title would suggest. So I gave that a 7.5 out of 10. Next song is I Died For You. It's quite similar to Dark Saga, the opening track. Again, it's a ballad. It seems a bit odd to have a ballad so early in the album. Chorus is very moody. Barlow sings it very well. This one is quite a fan favorite, I think. It's a bit early for like the lighters to come out, but it's out early. This is a good song. I mean, I can't deny it's a good song. So 8 out of 10 for this one. Track 3 is Violate. Finally, Iced Earth cut loose. John Schaefer, he straps on his guitar and lets the riffs flow. This is one is very Metallica styling feel, but with a sort of, imagine if Metallica was playing a power metal song. They would sound like this. The vocal is very raspy from Matt Barlow. This song could fit on And Justice For All for me if it was sort of more fleshed out, because it's really short at only just over 3 minutes, but it's a good song. 7.5 out of 10. Track 4 is The Hunter. This is my favourite song on the album. The opening riff is really catchy. This is a more melodic song. This is what I gravitate towards. You know, it's got a great riff, pounding drums. The chorus is easily the best on the album. Well, I say one of the best. I think it is the best. It's probably one of my favourite Iced Earth choruses ever, actually. I love the backing choirs in this song as well. I really enjoyed hearing this song live as well when I saw Iced Earth live. I've seen them live, I think 3 or 4 times, mostly headlining, once as support. So I love The Hunter. I gave that a 9 out of 10. Track 5, The Last Laugh. It picks up the pace. It's got a nice galloping riff. Barlow sings very aggressively during the verses. The chorus has counterpoint vocals to balance Barlow's, which is quite cool. I think John Schaefer does the counterpoint. It's an okay song. It's a bit unremarkable. It's not like anything amazing. So 7 out of 10 for The Last Laugh. Track 6 is Depths of Hell, just basically a 3-minute song. Barlow croons at the beginning over a steady drum beat. A chugging riff suddenly comes into view, and we're in sort of familiar territory for this album. You know, we've heard this type of thing already on this album, this sort of like moody riff. The solo is really cool on this song as well. The song is moody, it's dark. It could do with a bigger, more melodic hook, but fans of sort of like a good mid-tempo headbang, you know, they will like Depths of Hell. But for me, it's just an okay song. 7 out of 10. Track 7 is Vengeance Is Mine. This is one of my favourites on the album. You know, it's got this sort of stuttering melodic start, and then it goes into this famous Iced Earth gallop that they use a lot. The triplets that they use a lot. John Schaefer uses regularly. I like the way the riffs sort of snake around. I like Barlow's vocals. He's like spitting the lyrics really quite aggressively. I love the gallop, like I said. The chorus is again double tracked with Barlow and Schaefer. Again, it's a pretty cool song. I like this one quite a lot, and I rate it 8.5 out of 10. Track 8 is The Suffering, part 1 of the Suffering trilogy. It's called Scarred. Familiar sort of that moody, clean strings again that John Schaefer loves using on this album. The melody is pretty cool. Barlow, his vocals are sort of, utters an almighty yell and things are going to pick up. And then, yes, we're galloping. You know, we got that famous Iced Earth gallop. The guitar melody that follows is really quite cool. Barlow and Schaefer again mixing vocals. Schaefer even gets a narrated line. The song has a decent twisty riff. It's fairly mundane. It's an okay song overall. 7 out of 10. Track 9 is The Suffering Part 2, Slave to the Dark. This one segues nicely into the clean guitar lines again that Schaefer uses a lot. The melody is pretty cool. Barlow screams, and then we're off on a pacey pickup. You know, the melody picks up the pace. The guitar melody is very cool, one of the best on the album. This one hints at the classic older Iced Earth, the Night of the Storm Rider, the early Iced Earth. I love this chorus as well on Slave to the Dark. Very cool. The solo as well, very cool, like a more melodic Metallica again. So I really like Slave to the Dark. 9 out of 10 I gave that song. And the final track is A Question of Heaven, part 3 of the Suffering trilogy. It's the longest track on the album. Barlow's crooning at the beginning, a sweet acoustic guitar line. This song is well revered by Iced Earth fans. Everywhere I read, Iced Earth fans say A Question of Heaven is one of Iced Earth's best songs. Although I'm sort of a little bit so-so on it, I'm not like a huge fan of it. It's good. There's some female vocals in it. I'm not sure I enjoy the female vocalist. I don't know what she really adds. Barlow's vocals get really quite angsty on this as well. And the riff is quite similar to the riff for I Died For You, the second song on the album. The song goes all acoustic as it progresses. And the hero in the song gets all morose again. I don't know about this song. I mean, it gets a lot of praise, this song, but it's just not a great song for me. It's an okay end, but it's just, on re-listening, it didn't really grab me too much. So I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. So there we have the Dark Saga. I think at the time when I first heard this, I was quite pleased with this. I was like well into my Iced Earth fandom. I was like, yeah, Iced Earth is a killer band, kick-ass band. Compared to Days of Purgatory, I really loved that, and I loved the energy of it. And this was such a moodier album. The energy had been sort of stripped away, and some of the technicalities in the riffing is stripped away again. And they've gone for a more streamlined, more mainstream type of sound, but also still sort of a little hint of the earlier style. But for me, I prefer those earlier styles, and I also prefer some of the albums that came after, like Something Wicked This Way Comes, Horror Show, and more recent ones. Based on my rankings and a re-listening, I scored this album at a 7.8 out of 10. Possibly reduce it to just a 7.5. I think in the old days when I heard this, I would have easily ranked it at either an 8 or an 8.5. So it's reduced in quality somewhat. Again, with time, when you re-listen to some of these older albums after quite some time, they do tend to lose some of their luster. Some of these albums, these were underground bands, so their production values are sometimes not as good as some of the bigger bands of the time. So when you listen to it now, you do get a dated feeling sometimes, and also, I don't know, the way the songs don't seem to resonate like they did when you first heard them all that time ago. I mean, it's still a really good album, don't get me wrong. I mean, 7.8 out of 10 is not a bad rating. It's nearly 8, but I reduce it down instead of up, so call it 7.5 out of 10. So it's a solid album, but maybe it's a touch disappointing after all these 25 years later. Okay, there you have it, the Dark Saga with Iced Earth 25-year anniversary. Stay tuned for more.